Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget.
Chapter 111 To the Emergency Department. After Chen Hao returned to the classroom, he added Su Tongzhen's WeChat ID again. He included a message that read, "I have something important to tell you." Of course, Yang Hui taught him how to write that message. Su Tongzhen was angry and Chen Hao knew that he was probably the cause. Hence, he wanted to clear the air with Su Tongzhen. This message was really useful. Not long after that, he managed to get a hold of Su Tongzhen. "What do you want? Speak up quickly. Are you free this afternoon? A new movie just premiered in the cinemas. It is a very good movie and I want to watch it. I am looking for someone to accompany me there." Ma Zionan taught him to write this message. In short, many of Chen Hao's best friends were gathered around him. They were all devising strategies and advising Chen Hao. "Haha, then why don't you go and ask that awesome girl then?" "Why are you asking me?" Su Tongzhen replied coldly. "I want to find the most beautiful, most generous yet easily angered lady to accompany me to the movies. After thinking about it, I think you are quite suitable. If you do not want to go, why don't you recommend another girl who fits the above criteria then?" "Get lost, I don't have anyone to recommend. There's only you then. Since when did you become such a smooth talker? It's so unlike you." Su Tongzhen sent him a surprised emoji. To be honest, if you combined all their previous text messages, none could have made Su Tongzhen more happier than the 2 sentences Chen Hao sent just now. "So, do you want to go? I have already bought the tickets for you. It's okay if you reject me, but you need to recommend another girl exactly like you to accompany me. Only then will I agree." "Ha! Since you are so sincere, I shall go under one condition. That is, you have to treat me to a meal." "No way am I going there for nothing." "No problem. It was a date then." Yang Hui and Ma Zionan gave him the thumbs up. Chen Hao only smiled bitterly while scratching his head. It turned out that there were so many things that you needed to know while chatting up a girl. In the past, Chen Hao didn't know all these. He would only answer the question that was asked and nothing more because Yang Xia had said that she was attracted to Chen Hao's honesty. Hence, both of them got along well. Now, the same sentence spoken with the same intention had a different effect to it when you added a few other words. This was a whole new ballgame altogether, Chen Hao thought to himself helplessly. The movie was scheduled to begin at 11. Chen Hao planned to reach there earlier with Su Tongzhen at approximately 10. The moment he stepped out of the classroom after his classes ended, Chen Hao's mobile phone rang. He was surprised when he saw the number. Su Zio was calling him. They had exchanged their numbers early on. Chen Hao told Su Zio that no matter what happened, she could give him a call. He immediately answered the call. Su Zio sounded quite anxious. "Chen Hao, where are you?" "I am on campus, what's up?" "It's Ying." Ying suddenly fainted and fell on the floor just now. "I have brought her to the hospital B but I don't have any money and they won't treat her unless I pay." Which hospital are you guys at now?" "Okay, I will go immediately." The moment he heard that Ying had fainted and her condition was quite serious, Chen Hao started to panic. They had gotten along quite well the week before. Hence, he was really worried about Ying's condition. Chen Hao immediately ran downstairs and drove his car to the hospital. When he reached the hospital's entrance, Chen Hao saw Su Ziu and the rest of the children waiting there. They looked anxious. He stopped the car by the roadside and immediately ran over. How is she? Chen Hao took a look at the trembling Ying, whose face was drained of color. Ying had these symptoms in the past, but this time it's very bad. Su Zio was so anxious that she nearly broke down and cried. Two of the children also shook Chen Hao's arms and said, "Chen Hao, please save our sister." "Okay, let us bring her in and let the doctor take a look at her." He took Ying from Su Zio's arms and prepared to run into the hospital's emergency department. "You better stop where you are now. Why are you all being so persistent? I have already told you that we do not accept any patients who can't pay for their treatments. You better think of a way to raise the money quickly. Don't pester us anymore." Two security guards surrounded them, thereby blocking Chen Hao's way. "I have the money. Please treat this kid first," said Chen Hao quickly. "Hey kid, it's not that we do not want to help you, but if we allow you to go in and you can't pay up, we would have to chase you out again. Why don't you think of a way to raise the money quickly?" Both of the security guards did not look young. When they saw that Su Ziyu did not have it easy, they toned their voices down a little. Obviously, Su Ziyu had been kicked out once before this. "What's wrong, Mr. Lu and Mr. Li? Who are these beggars standing in front of the hospital's entrance? I thought I had chased these people out since they don't have any money to pay. Why are they still here?" "Dr. Chen, I am terribly sorry, I will chase them out now. Make it quick, don't ruin our hospital's reputation. Let us go and have a meal, Mei Mei and Li. Today I will treat you all to something nice. He he he." Dr. Chen fondled the two beautiful ladies. The two beauties were looking at Chen Hao and the rest of them with disdain. "Haha, you're quite stubborn. You better think of a way to raise the money quickly. Look at them, I don't think they can afford the treatment anyway." Both of them continued mocking them. They obviously looked down upon Chen Hao and Su Ziyu because of their attire. "Dr. Chen, I beg you, please treat Ying. I beg you." Su Ziyu was so anxious that she nearly knelt down in front of Dr. Chen. "I have the money. Please treat her, and I will give you the money once she's treated," said Chen Hao with a cold look on his face. "Oh, do you really have the money then? Ha ha ha, this is the greatest joke I have ever heard. You stupid kid, are you trying to pull my leg here? Look at you. Ha ha, do you think you can fool me? No fucking way. Get lost now." Chen Hao looked at Su Ziyu. "Give me half a minute, I will get us in soon." After uttering those words, Chen Hao glared at Dr. Chen and the two beautiful ladies. He immediately ran to the side of the road and got into his car. Then, he stepped on the accelerator and drove the car to the entrance. Fuck! Oh my god! What is this? All three of them were stunned. Especially Dr. Chen, whose face had turned white. It was a Lamborghini Reventon. That luxury car was worth 18 million. This guy really was a wealthy person. Both of the pretty ladies were so surprised that they covered their mouths. The visual assault of this luxury car was way too much for them. "Now, can we go in?" Chen Hao wound the windows down and said casually. Of course, of course. I will arrange for a team to see her immediately. I will not go out to eat anymore. I will do it as fast as I can," said Dr. Chen anxiously. Chen Hao smiled coldly. Some people were just like that. If you were to ask them nicely, you would never get through them. However, if you were to hurt their pride, they would obediently follow your commands. Ying was immediately pushed into the emergency room. Very soon, the diagnostic report was out. Ying had anemia, and it was serious. However, they were confident that her condition could be treated within a year. Only then did Chen Hao and Su Ziyu relax. Young Master Chen, you have to pay extra attention to Ying and take care of her. Let her eat lots of fruits, all right. At this moment, both of the pretty nurses surrounded Chen Hao. They were giving him lots of advice in an intimate manner. Chen Hao only smiled bitterly and nodded his head. Chen Hao only let out a sigh of relief when Ying was finally admitted to the wards. Ziyu, you better go back to work, or else the principal will scold you again. Both of the children shook their heads and said. Ah! It's okay, I have to take care of Ying. We will take care of her, besides, Chen Hao is here as well. How can a bunch of guys be meticulous enough to take care of her? Besides, what if Ying wanted to go to the toilet? Su Ziyu was put in a difficult position. She really needed to go to work, but she had to take care of the 3 children as well. However, Ying was more important. If you are busy, just go to work then. I will ask one of my friends to take care of Ying. Should I ask those 2 nurses? To be honest, Chen Hao did not trust them. If he were to stay behind to take care of her, it wouldn't be convenient as well. Hence, Chen Hao suddenly thought of a young lady. She would be the perfect candidate. Chen Hao was about to give Zheng Yu a call. Fuck. The moment he looked at his mobile phone, there were already 30 missed calls from Su Tongzin, not including the text messages and WeChat messages she sent him. The reason was, Chen Hao had a habit of putting his phone into silent mode when he was attending his morning classes. When his classes ended, he did not switch off his silent mode because he was in a hurry and he was kept busy until now. When he looked at the time, it was nearly 1 o'clock. In other words, he had stood Su Tongzin up for at least 2 hours. Chapter 112 To go on a blind date again. Firstly, he called Zheng Yu. Zheng Yu loved money, but after getting along with Chen Hao these past few months, she really took his matters to heart. Sure enough, after Chen Hao made that call, she came immediately. Only then did Chen Hao wipe away the cold sweat from his forehead. Then, he called Su Tongzin again. The number you have dialed could not be reached at the moment. Her mobile phone was switched off again. Chen Hao sent her a message on WeChat. Sure enough, she had deleted his number and blocked him. Sigh. To be honest, Chen Hao blamed himself more than he did yesterday when he said the wrong things to Su Tongzin. This time, he had stood her up big time and he did not know how to explain it anymore. When Chen Hao returned to school, he went to look for Su Tongzin a few times. However, the door was slammed right in his face. Su Tongzin completely ignored him. He did not know how long this Cold War would last. Chen Hao walked alone in the campus grounds and eventually jogged to the garden where he planned to stay alone for a while. Chen Hao was really at a loss when it came to dealing with relationship problems. Today, he heard a saying that went like this: when a girl says she doesn't want it, she actually means the opposite. He thought of Yang Xia. Both of them had walked hand in hand in this very garden before. Eventually, Chen Hao had plucked up his courage and asked Yang Xia whether they could get a hotel room. Slap. Get lost, Chen Hao. What kind of girl do you think I am? Chen Hao still remembered that he was slapped and scolded by Yang Xia. It was obvious that she did not want to. He really felt that her attitude at that time meant that she did not want to. Chen Hao really blamed himself then. That was right. Yang Xia was such a nice girl, so how was it possible for her to have such a thought? Chen Hao gradually treated her better after this. However, thinking about it. Sigh, women. I wonder where Yang Xia went and what is she doing right now? The scene reminded him of Yang Xia. However, these thoughts only appeared for a fleeting moment. He sat in the garden until it was 5 o'clock in the evening. At this moment, Chen Hao's mobile phone rang. It was Zheng Yu. "Young Master Chen, where are you?" He noticed that Zheng Yu sounded anxious. She also sounded like she was crying. Chen Hao's nerves were set on edge. "Did something happen to Ying? I am in the campus now. I am about to bring some food to the hospital for all of you." "Zheng Yu, what's wrong?" asked Chen Hao. "Young Master Chen, something happened this afternoon. It's my mother. I thought she was pulling my leg in the beginning and I told her clearly that I did not want to go. But now, my mother has actually reserved a table in a restaurant and wants me to go for a blind date. Young Master Chen, I really don't want to go. I am still too young. Tell me I'm right." Zheng Yu was crying as she said that. Chen Hao heaved a sigh of relief after hearing her words. Her family must be forcing her to go on a date. To be honest, it wasn't the first time this situation had happened around Chen Hao. It wasn't out of the ordinary anyway. Now that they were going to graduate soon, not to mention Zheng Yu who had graduated a long time ago, wasn't there a saying for people like them at every stage of life, almost everyone would be experiencing the same thing as their peers. Dating was one of them. "You really don't want to?" "Yes, young Master Chen, I really don't want to go. What should I do? My mum has already arranged the banquet and the guy's family are headed there already. They did not specifically say that it was a date but a friendly gathering between our families." "Okay, I will go with you later. I will reject them for you," Chen Hao said casually. "Hey young Master Chen, do you really mean it? You are too nice." "Then, young Master Chen, do I tell them that you are my counselor or friend or just tell them I am your friend?" Chen Hao smiled bitterly. Since Zheng Yu had helped him out today, he should return the favor as well. After all, Zheng Yu was his employee and since she had begged him to help her, he couldn't just ignore her. Hence, Chen Hao took the initiative this time. After the agreement was made, Chen Hao went to the hospital to bring Ying her meal. After Su Ziyu returned, only then did he leave with Zheng Yu. The banquet was held in one of the private rooms of a restaurant in Jinling. This was not the first time that Chen Hao did something like that, hence he was quite familiar with the procedures already. All of them started the same way. He pushed the door open. "Oh, Zheng Yu, you're late. Who's this guy?" In the private room, a fashionable-looking middle-aged woman was looking coldly in the direction of Chen Hao. She must be Zheng Yu's mother. Chen Hao's ordinary appearance alone was enough to make the middle-aged woman look at him with contempt. She was from the city, hence since a long time ago, she had always looked down upon people who came from the countryside. "Yes, his name is Chen Hao and he is my boyfriend." Zheng Yu did not know what she was thinking at that time, but she actually blurted out these words. "I thought we agreed that we were just friends. Damn, I have become somebody's boyfriend again." Chen Hao felt embarrassed, but it was too late and there was no way he could refute the statement. On the other hand, Zheng Yu stuck her tongue out after saying those words. She was a bit emotional right now. Yes, what was she thinking back there? Of course, she was thinking about how nice it would be if Chen Hao was her boyfriend. These past few days, Zheng Yu even thought about it in her dreams. In the past, she only liked Chen Hao after she knew that he was rich. However, after spending some time with each other these past few months, Zheng Yu had clearly seen the other side of Chen Hao. He was a humble and reserved person. In addition to that, he was a warm and forgiving person and he really trusted her. Zheng Yu had liked him from the start but his personality made Zheng Yu respect him even more. Naturally, she was head over heels for him. What Zheng Yu, what did you say he is your boyfriend? Zheng Yu's mother and father were surprised. Both of them were so stunned that their mouths were wide open. Both of them were public officials and they were very particular about finding the right match for their daughter in terms of social and economic standing. However, their daughter had actually brought along her boyfriend to this blind date. This can't be happening. Father, mother, you're right, he is indeed my boyfriend. We have been together for quite a while now. Chen Hao, come and greet my parents. Since young Master Chen did not correct her, Zheng Yu was emboldened and reminded him to greet her parents. Nice to meet you, madam. What do you mean nice? Humph. Where did this kid come from and how did a scumbag like you get acquainted with my daughter? Get lost immediately. Zheng Yu's mother immediately criticized him. She was put in a difficult situation. She had just made a promise to the leader's wife to let both their children meet and get acquainted with each other. If everything went smoothly, they would have been in-laws by the end of the night. Wouldn't that have been great? She did not expect her daughter to deviate from the path that she had planned for her. Now, look at the mess she had made. How could her daughter bring her boyfriend along after she had expended so much effort to force and threaten her to come? The young man's family was going to arrive soon. If they were to see Chen Hao later, they might turn into enemies instead of friends. This was infuriating. Naturally, she resented Chen Hao very much. While they were talking, the door to the room suddenly opened. Outside, a group of people came in carrying something. Mr. Zheng, I am so sorry that we're late. Ha ha ha. 4 people came in. Amongst them, there was a young man and a young lady. That young lady looked very pretty. To be honest, the Zheng's family was still in a daze when they saw them. What was happening? This young man must be Mr. Zhang's son. Then who was this young lady? Could he have brought along his girlfriend? Oh yeah, Mr. Zheng, let me introduce you to my third brother's daughter who is also my niece. She wanted to tag along with her cousin. She is a 4th-year student in Jinling College. My dear niece, please greet Mr. Zheng warmly. However, this young lady didn't seem to hear her uncle's words. At this moment, she was staring fixedly at Chen Hao. The corners of her mouth curved upward into a mocking smile. Ha ha, Chen Hao, fancy seeing you here. Chapter 113 A Boy Toy. Obviously the girl knew Chen Hao. Chen Hao was startled when he saw the pretty girl in front of him. Zhang Weiwei. Ever since the incident of beating Wang Yang, the relationship between Chen Hao and Zhang Weiwei had ruptured. Zhang Weiwei had been secretly in love with Wang Yang for so long. Even if Chen Hao had given her expensive clothes as a present before, in her eyes, he was still incomparable to Wang Yang. Moreover, Zhang Weiwei was almost dismissed as the president of the student council because of him, and therefore, she had been shooting daggers at him when she bumped into him these days. Who knew that they would meet here today? Chen Hao, what were you doing here? Zhang Weiwei said differently. Chen Hao, do you know each other? Zheng Yu came to Chen Hao's side immediately and asked flirtatiously. I know her. We're in the same department. Chen Hao smiled bitterly. He then looked at Zhang Weiwei and said, I'm here to meet Zheng Yu's parents. Meet her parents? Why? Zhang Weiwei's face darkened. Meanwhile, the rest of the Zhang family members also looked at Chen Hao. Chen Hao is my boyfriend. Why do you think he is here to meet my parents? Zheng Yu didn't beat around the bush. She really wasn't interested in the guy named Zhang Ziqiao at all. Zheng Yu hadn't realized that her standards for a boyfriend had become higher after she met Chen Hao. I know someone who is more powerful. Even if you're really excellent, you are nothing compared to young Master Chen. This was Zheng Yu's mentality now when choosing a boyfriend. However, her reply was like a bomb which astonished everyone, especially those from the Zhang family. They were excited to meet Zheng Yu as they heard that she was related to the Jinling commercial group. She was pretty and came from a family with similar social and economic standing. Overall, it would be great if she could be the daughter-in-law of Zhang's family. Unexpectedly, Zheng Yu had already gotten a boyfriend and they only found out now. They had even brought their son here for the blind date. Mr. Zheng, what's going on? Zhang Weiwei's uncle asked in a displeasing tone. The guy named Zhang Ziqiao also looked at Chen Hao with hostility. He liked Zheng Yu very much. Meanwhile, he quickly scanned Chen Hao from head to toe to find his strongest points so that he could compare himself to him. Zheng Yu's parents apologized in a hurry, saying it was all a misunderstanding. However, they were cursing Chen Hao viciously in their heart. Why was this loser here? He's messing things up. Dad, calm down. Just like Uncle Zheng said, it might be a misunderstanding. Besides, this guy is Weiwei's classmate. Zhang Ziqan raised up his hand to show off his watch, smiling nonchalantly. Haha, classmates Chen Hao, now I know why you have been behaving so gloriously. It turns out that you have become someone's boyfriend. To be frank, although I was irked that you became rich after winning the lottery, I thought that you were not as disgusting as before because you've given me expensive clothes as a present, even though I still hate you. But now, you are more disgusting than I could ever imagine. I didn't understand how you became so rich. You've just won a lottery but your money never seemed to run out, but I finally get it now. You've been provided for. As expected, there's something going on between the two of you. Zhang Weiwei had kept silent all the while after she entered the room. It slowly dawned on her that the girl was Zheng Yu. She was the girl whom Su Chao was pursuing. The other day, Su Nan and Lin Jiao had caught her red-handed with her boy toy, Chen Hao, in her car. She had witnessed the incident with her own eyes but Zhang Weiwei thought it was impossible after she observed further. From her point of view, she would never keep a scum like Chen Hao as her boy toy if she really wanted to. But now, this girl had admitted that Chen Hao was her boyfriend. Therefore, Zhang Weiwei didn't care about courtesy anymore when she talked. She stared at Chen Hao proudly and thought, "You think you're superb? Ha 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 ha, you're just a boy toy, and nothing else." Listening to her words, Zheng Yu's parents were humiliated. Zhang Weiwei had implied that he was a freeloader. Zheng Yu's mother pointed at Chen Hao and asked her daughter, "Zheng Yu, tell me, who is this Chen Hao? Is he really your boy toy?" "Mum, no. Listen to my explanation," Zheng Yu said anxiously. She never knew that this simple act to refuse the marriage would turn into a mess. She was speechless toward Zhang Weiwei. She had appeared at the worst possible time. "I don't want to listen to your excuses. Tell me, yes or no?" Zheng Yu's mother asked firmly. Crossing her arms, Zhang Weiwei walked up to Zhang Ziqiao's side and said with a smile, "Brother, you don't have to worry. Do you remember what I told you about this poor dude in our department? He is so poor that he doesn't even have dignity, and so poor that his ex-girlfriend dumped him. The ex-girlfriend immediately dated a rich heir after that. Later on, he kept bragging after he won some lottery. Do you still remember him? Ha ha ha, that's him." Zhang Weiwei thought, "Since I have fallen out with you, it can't get any worse now. You, Chen Hao, have made me suffer a lot. Initially, I wanted to become your friend, thinking that you have become rich. Before I found out that you weren't really wealthy, I even wanted to become your girlfriend, especially when you gave me the piece of clothing which cost about 50,000 to 60,000. Although you said that it was to thank me for my help, you were still willing to give me such an expensive item. It's a lie if I said I wasn't touched by that. But now, you're just a jerk. It's useless even if you have money. She purposely said it in public so that Zheng Yu would be aware of his previous behavior and dump him. Zhang Ziqiao's eyes glimmered at that moment. If Chen Hao was really that poor dude, he had nothing to worry about. Zheng Yu, tell me. Is Wai Wei telling the truth? Is he just a poor loser? Zheng Yu's mum asked forcefully. What a shame. What an embarrassment. Zheng Yu had no idea what to say. She didn't know how to answer her mum. Yes, I was poor before, but I didn't lose my dignity because of poverty. I just wanted to earn money for my living expenses so that I could study hard and have a bright future. Is that wrong? Chen Hao was triggered by Zhang Weiwei's disdainful remarks. He couldn't help it but vent it all out. Why do you guys always judge me although I'm poor? I have never done anything to offend you. Why do you all keep bullying me? Staring at Zhang Weiwei, Chen Hao growled in fury. For the past 3 years, the number of times Zhang Weiwei had humiliated him were as many as Liu Chen and his gang. She never cared about his pride or dignity at all, even in public. There was once, she bumped into him walking out of the classroom with Yang Xia. She actually scolded him in front of everyone. Chen Hao, how can a poor loser like you get a girlfriend? Oh my gosh, I'm really speechless. By the way, go clean the lecture hall. There's no need for you to eat with your girlfriend. Besides, it doesn't matter whether you go to the cafeteria or not. You're just a poor scum who can't even afford to eat once you stop working part-time. What are you going against me? Slap. She had slapped him on his face. Believe it or not, I'll stop your student subsidies and kick you out. This happened when they were still in their first or second year in college. Zhang Weiwei treated him that way in front of Yang Xia. Yang Xia even had several arguments with her because of this. As for Chen Hao, he felt like he was repressing a demon that had possessed him. He had been bearing all the grievances in his heart. Things got better in his 3rd year. It was because Zhang Weiwei was too lazy to even scold him. Haha. Chen Hao remembered everything she had done and said to him. He never mentioned it, but it didn't mean that he had forgotten. Humph. So you really are a poor loser. Stop wasting my daughter's time. You better get out now. Zheng Yu's mother was trembling in anger. Suddenly, she grabbed a cup of hot tea from the table and splashed it on Chen Hao's face. Chapter 114 No More Tolerance. Mom. No. Zheng Yu was stunned when she saw this. Her eyes widened and she quickly stopped her mother, but it was too late. The water had been splashed out. Chen Hao didn't have time to dodge either. Fortunately, her mother missed the target. The cup of hot tea only managed to land on Chen Hao's body. Chen Hao was drenched at once and he was covered with tea leaves. Humph! A person like you is not worthy of my daughter. Get away from her. Zheng Yu's mother angrily smashed the cup on the ground. By doing so, she was giving off a message. She wanted to let the Zhang family know that Zheng family was absolutely sincere. As for the loser Chen Hao, she was too lazy to care about him. Humph! You deserve it, Chen Hao. Raise your head. I want to record a video of you so that the whole department knows that you are a disgusting loser. Haha. Zhang Weiwei laughed in relief. Jiang's family also sneered. Chen Hao never thought that Zheng Yu's mother would do this. To what extent did she hate him for her to splash the tea on him in public with his hands? Chen Hao carefully picked the tea leaves on his body. His eyes scanned everyone in the room furiously, especially Zhang Weiwei. Weiwei, do you think I'm really poor? What would you do if you found out that one day, I was not poor but actually very rich? And the rest of you, your behavior of despising the poor and currying favor with the rich is disgusting. Just because someone is poor, it doesn't mean that they are not human beings. Why are you so arrogant? If you found out that you were the poor losers in my eyes, what would you do then? Zheng Yu thought Chen Hao was going to get angry, but his voice was surprisingly indifferent. Ha ha ha! Chen Hao, you are a fool. You are going crazy thinking about money. You think you're very rich? Oh please! I've recorded what you just said, so let's show the world what an embarrassment you are. Zhang Weiwei held her stomach and laughed with derision. Zheng Yu, is this person really your boyfriend? Haha, you still treat him as a human? Just look at him, does he look like a human? Poor scum, this kind of person should just die on the street for good. He is poor now and will always be poor for the rest of his life. He will never be successful. You're right. Look at his clothes. Zheng Yu, I know that you might be blinded by love, and I understand that. Well, Uncle Zhang managed to get 3 tickets to visit the outer section of the villa. Isn't there an event at Hot Spring Villa today? Let Ziqiao and Weiwei accompany you. Go have fun together. Oh right, you used to be a supervisor in the villa, right? You have to bring Ziqiao and Weiwei around. Zhang Ziqiao's mother chimed in. It looked like she knew how to handle things. I just go, don't mind me. Chen Hao said lightly. Zheng Yu wanted to shake her head, but she was too scared to refuse when she heard his tone. Chen Hao finally understood that it was impossible for him to lead a simple college life. There's always someone out there looking for trouble. There's always someone out there looking to mock me. In that case, there's no need for me to submit to them. At this time, Chen Hao reached into his pocket and wanted to take out a tissue to wipe his shirt. With a thud, his Lamborghini car key fell out as he pulled out his tissues. He really did not do it on purpose. Chen Hao didn't mean to prove them wrong in this way. He reached out his hand to pick up the key. Oh! A car key, it looks weird. Before he could touch it, Zhang Weiwei had picked it up. She looked at it closely. Pfft! Finally, she scoffed. Oh dear! It's a Lamborghini car key. My God, Chen Hao, do you drive a Lamborghini? Haha, this car key is fake. Lamborghini keys don't look like this. At first, Zhang Ziqiao was shocked. However, when he looked closely, he smiled. This car key was obviously different from the others. It looked like a controller with the logo of Lamborghini. To be honest, not many people have seen this car controller. Therefore, Zhang Ziqiao and Zhang Weiwei couldn't be blamed for having this reaction. Ha ha ha, Chen Hao, I can't imagine an idiot like you valuing your vanity this much. You even bought a toy car key. Please, if you want to amaze people, can't you use a more realistic one? I really don't want to talk about him. Brother, let's go to Hot Spring Villa in your Maserati. Zheng Yu, let us go. Humph. Chen Hao, from today onward, the most disgusting person in our department is you. You should get lost immediately. Bang! Zhang Weiwei threw the Lamborghini car key in front of Chen Hao. Zheng Yu didn't dare to go against Chen Hao, so she left reluctantly. Mr. Zheng, why don't you follow us and have a look at Ziqiao's new car? Zhang Weiwei's father suggested. All right, let us go together. Damn, get out of my way. When Zheng Yu's mother walked past Chen Hao, she gave him a hard shove. Sigh. Chen Hao exhaled heavily. He picked up the car key and followed them out. In that case, he didn't have to tolerate anyone anymore. When he walked out, Zhang Weiwei and the gang hadn't left. They had surrounded the Lamborghini Reventon while discussing heatedly. Oh dear! This is the one. Brother, do you know I'm telling you, this car belongs to a rich tyrant in our college. Oh my gosh, he must be here. He must be eating in this restaurant. When Zhang Weiwei saw the car, she jumped excitedly. She had always wanted to know this rich heir of Jinling. Ziqiao, do you know what car this is? At this time, Zhang Ziqiao's father and Zheng Yu's parents came. Everyone was shocked. They hadn't noticed this car when they came here just now. One look and you could tell that this car was a luxury car. It's a Lamborghini. I don't know what model it is, but it should be more expensive than a Lamborghini Veneno. Such luxury! Oh my god! The Zheng family and the Zhang family all took a breath of cool air. This is a Reventon. It belongs to a rich heir in our school. Zhang Weiwei hastily added. While she was talking, Chen Hao walked past them. Chen Hao, what are you doing? This poor loser hasn't left yet, Zhang Ziqiao sneered. Yes, what is this poor loser doing in the parking lot? Zheng Yu's mother said. This poor loser is here to take his car. Everyone, see you. Chen Hao smiled softly and pressed a button on his car key. Beep beep. The car sounded and the headlights flickered. The roof retracted automatically and turned into a convertible. Chen Hao climbed into the car. What? Everyone was dumbfounded, especially Zhang Weiwei. She almost let out a high-pitched scream. See, Chen Hao's the owner of this car, so that car key was real. Is this car really Chen Hao's? The mysterious rich guy in the faculty is Chen Hao. He must be the superb ordinary guy too. Ah! Chen Hao, what's going on? Is this car yours? Is it really yours? Instead of feeling as if she had been slapped, Zhang Weiwei felt as though a bomb had just exploded in her heart. Her whole body was trembling and she was bewildered. Disbelief spread across her face. It can't be. He was just a poor loser. What's going on here? Chapter 115. A reshuffle in Jinling Commercial Group. Zheng Yu's parents were shocked. They even called him a poor loser and told him to stay away from their daughter a while ago. No wonder he said that they were the ones who were poor in his eyes. It was exactly the case. Honk! Chen Hao sounded his horn. The engine roared to life and he slowly exited the parking lot. When he passed by Zhang Weiwei, Chen Hao didn't look at her at all. She dreadfully hoped that he would spare her a glance. It didn't matter if he wanted to scold her or slap her in the face. But he did nothing. He just ignored her. As for Chen Hao, he felt like he had done enough for Zheng Yu. He stepped on the accelerator and sped out of the parking lot. Silent revenge was much better than ostentatious flaunting. Chen Hao couldn't care less about their reactions. How much is his family's net worth at that moment? Zhang Ziqiao gulped. Zhang Weiwei was utterly lost. She felt weak and her brain was blank. She couldn't answer this question at all. To be honest, she had an urge to ditch her own dignity just now. She wanted to spring forward to apologize to Chen Hao and ask for his forgiveness. After all, he was wealthy now. He looked so utterly handsome when he got into the car. She even had an impulse to take a picture of Chen Hao's car and let the whole school know as a way to show off, but Zhang Weiwei calmed down. Are you stupid, Zhang Weiwei, if the whole school knew Chen Hao's identity, then wouldn't there be more competitors? Besides that, if everyone knew how awesome Chen Hao was, you would be the first to be humiliated, Zhang Weiwei. Therefore Weiwei, you have to work hard. After all, many love stories start with conflict between the male and female protagonist. The voices in her head were constantly reminding Zhang Weiwei. The others were curious about Chen Hao's identity, so they looked at Zheng Yu for an explanation. Zheng Yu just shook her head and said, "Don't ask me, I don't know anything. I really don't know anything." It was a little late now. It was around 7 o'clock when Chen Hao sent a message to Su Ziu to ensure that Ying was fine and rested. After that, Chen Hao was ready to go back to the dormitory to sleep. Suddenly, the phone rang again. It was Li Zhenqiu. "Why is he calling me at this hour? Young Master Chen, where are you? I'm sorry to call you at this time." "Oh, I'm about to drive back to college." "What's the matter?" "Ahem, well, it's about the general manager position of Jinling Commercial Group. Miss Chen Xiao has sent a new general manager to replace me, and this general manager has been a friend of mine for many years. His name is Zhao Zixing, and he boarded a flight tonight immediately after he accepted the position." "I know, my sister mentioned it to me." "Well, so, he meant to pay you a visit and asked me to contact you." Chen Hao thought that this person was very good at currying favors. The first thing he did after he got off the plane was to arrange to meet him. Sure enough, those who were employed by her sister were no ordinary people. "Pay me a visit. Where shall we meet? How about this, let us meet at the villa tonight. Please help me make arrangements, see you at the villa later." "All right, young Master Chen." After hanging up the phone, Chen Hao turned his car around and went straight to the villa. He didn't know anything about Zhao Zixing, but since he wanted to visit him, Chen Hao thought it best to agree. Acting high and mighty was something that only his sister would do. He wouldn't enjoy doing that. No harm meeting and having a meal. Soon, he arrived at the villa. There was an event at the villa to welcome Zhao Zixing, the new general manager. Although it was already late, the villa was brightly lit. There were many rich second generations, young masters, and tycoons entering and leaving. When Chen Hao arrived at the entrance, he took one look and decided that he didn't want to get down here. He drove around to the back and entered from the exclusive passage. He reached the lobby. At this time, Li Zhenqiu and a middle-aged man were already standing at the door respectfully. Only two of them were present. The middle-aged man must be Zhao Zixing. He looked steady and mature. However, looking at his eyes, Chen Hao felt that he was the kind of person who was very aggressive in his work. "Young Master Chen!" Li Zhenqiu shouted with respect. "It's my honor to meet you, young Master Chen. I'm Zhao Zixing." Zhao Zixing bowed, full of respect. "Hello, General Manager Zhao. Drop the formality. Let's go in and talk." Chen Hao smiled. After a brief exchange of greetings, Zhao Zixing started to introduce himself and talked about Jinling Commercial Group's future development plans. It was very creative and powerful enough to overthrow Li Zhenqiu's previous operating model. At work, he didn't seem to be considerate of his good friend's pride. "By the way, young Master Chen, I heard from Zhenqiu that you recently bought Cloud Manor. Is there further renovation being carried out?" Chen Hao nodded. "Ahem, young Master Chen, I was a professional interior designer before this. I studied in Europe and majored in interior design. Can you put me in charge of the renovation work of Cloud Manor? I promise I will be able to satisfy you, young Master Chen." Zhao Zixing smiled respectfully. Bang! This time, Li Zhenqiu couldn't bear it. He couldn't help but place his teacup down with a thud. General Manager Zhao, you have just arrived and are unfamiliar with the workings of the company. It's better for you to take some time to acquire the necessary knowledge. Besides, I've already started the renovation for young Master Chen's mansion. It's expected to be completed in 10 days. Don't you worry about it. Damn, I've shown you courtesy by introducing you to young Master Chen. You are going too far by snatching my project 5 minutes after you have arrived. General Manager Li, 10 days is it? If I were in charge of the project, I would be able to finish the renovation of the mansion within 5 days with superior quality. I'll never delay young Master Chen from moving into the mansion. Zhao Zixing retorted. In 5 days, General Manager Zhao, isn't that too far-fetched? Chen Hao laughed. I am prepared to sign a deed for it. If young Master Chen can't move into the mansion after 5 days, I will immediately submit my resignation to the headquarters. Zhao Zixing stood up while saying and looked dead serious. Chen Hao couldn't bring himself to reject him. Anyway, it was just a renovation project. It didn't matter who was in charge. In addition, Li Zhenqiu was too frightened to refute at the moment. He dared not make such a deed. Besides, why am I being jealous? No matter how close Zhao Zixing is with young Master Chen, I guess he can never come close to my relationship with young Master Chen. Therefore, this matter was assigned to Zhao Zixing. After they ended their conversation, Zhao Zixing still needed to entertain some guests. Chen Hao decided not to join and headed to the villa's bedroom to rest. Well done, General Manager Zhao, I admire you for your style and courage. But I have to remind you that you must be careful while working in Jinling, especially when it comes to young Master Chen. His identity hasn't been announced to the public. Consider this a friendly reminder. I am aware. Apart from me, almost all the people I brought with me don't know about young Master Chen's identity. I didn't even tell my wife. I know that General Manager Li was dismissed from the headquarters due to the incident in which young Master Chen's identity was exposed and was almost killed. I won't make such a mistake. Haha. Zhao Zixing smiled nonchalantly. Li Zhenqiu just took a deep breath. This matter indeed pained him the most. His negligence had almost caused young Master Chen to be killed by Ning Fan. It was scary to think about it. After Chen Hao took a rest, he did not fall asleep. His mind was wandering aimlessly, and just then, his sister called. Damn, there are only 2 days left. What have you been doing? Didn't I tell you to finish spending the money? There's still 200 million left. Do you want to see me dead? His sister's roar frightened him. It suddenly occurred to him that it only cost him 800 million to buy the mansion. There was still another 200 million left. What should I do? How should I spend it? I'm doomed. Chen Hao couldn't sleep for the whole night. Early in the morning, an idea came to mind. Chapter 116. The embarrassing moment of Chen Hao. How should I spend the remaining 200 million? An idea sparked in Chen Hao's mind. Chen Hao had discovered it by chance when he was talking to Su Ziyu some time ago. Su Ziyu had posted a photo in her chat moment. It was also the only post that she had. The background of the photo was a mountain. The whole mountain was covered with thick jungle and the scenery was breathtaking. At that time, Chen Hao even teased that her beauty matched the magnificent view of the mountain. He remembered that photo. Meanwhile, Su Ziyu also told Chen Hao the story of that place. Su Ziyu stayed in an orphanage for some time until she was adopted by her foster parents. She used to live in the village at the foot of the mountain with her foster parents. However, her foster parents passed away in a car accident later. Only then did she leave the village to make a living after that. Chen Hao hit his own thigh when he thought of the idea. I have to get started in investment sooner or later. That mountain has not been developed yet. How about building a new entertainment villa on this mountain? He immediately gave Suzihu a call. Suzihu was initially very surprised after hearing his plan, but she reassured him that the view on the mountain was really out of this world, especially if viewed from the peak of the mountain. Listening to her description, Chen Hao was very excited. He asked Suzihu to make time to visit the place with him tomorrow. Then, Chen Hao proceeded to call Li Zhenqiu immediately and asked him to provide him with a report of this mountain, including the investment value and such. Ever since he knew that he was a descendant of a wealthy family, this could be considered his first meaningful investment. His investment in Same City live streaming app did not count because it was a decision that he had made on the spur of the moment. Thus, not only did Li Zhenqiu pay high attention to it, Chen Hao also took this very seriously. After arranging everything, Chen Hao still couldn't sleep due to the joy and excitement inside him. Since he was extremely bored, he decided to take a bath in the hot spring. He jumped out of bed and left his room. The welcoming event for Zhao Zixing had ended by this time. The villa had quietened down. It was even more secluded here in the hot spring. Chen Hao knew how to swim ever since he was young. He changed into his swimming trunks excitedly and jumped into the hot spring. Right after Chen Hao dived into the water, a pretty lady in a sexy bikini with long hair emerged from the center of the hot spring. As she flipped her hair, it formed a beautiful arc in the air before dropping on her back. A few people jogged toward the entrance of the hot spring. It was a woman with 4 bodyguards. All of you are so careless. The company is paying you to protect Miss Shen Jianer. I can't believe you actually let Miss Jianer soak in the hot spring alone. Damn you! Don't you know that the paparazzi are trying hard to take Miss Jianer's photo to create gossip? Sorry, Madam Hong. It's our fault, but this is Hot Spring Villa. Paparazzis wouldn't dare to come in here, right? Cut the nonsense. We should do our best in protecting her. Miss Jianer still has an important film to shoot. You can't bear the consequences if anything happens to Miss Jianer, not even if you gave her your lives. Madame Hong nagged all the way from the corridor to the hot spring. Shen Jianer had finished bathing at this time. After her performance in Jinling City today, she found it boring to stay in the room alone. It was tiring to care about her image all the time. She had heard that Hot Spring Villa was a famous place for a long time now. That was why Shen Jianer turned down the invitation of some big bosses, who invited her to spend time in their rooms, and came here to take a hot spring bath instead. Madam Hong, I was the one who asked them to stay outside. I wanted to enjoy the hot spring bath here. Everything is fine, so just wait for me near the rockery. I'm changing now. Shen Jianer said coldly. The bodyguards gulped when they saw Shen Jianer's sexy figure. They followed her orders and went out. Her manager immediately brought a white bathrobe for her. Sigh, I don't know what's wrong with my company. It's so irksome to be followed by all those stinky men all the time. Haha, let me guess. If it was young Master Chen from Jinling who followed you all day round, you wouldn't find it irksome anymore, am I right? Madame Hong laughed. Sigh, speaking of young Master Chen, I'm a bit disappointed because I thought I could meet him here today. Humph, what a waste of my effort. He wasn't even here. Is that why you're here in a 3-point bikini? Aren't you afraid of being photographed by the others? You're too bold. You're an A-list celebrity. You should be more careful. Madame Hong smiled and said helplessly. Nat, the hot spring villa is well known for its tight security. Not only do I want to wear a bikini, I even want to skinny dip. While saying that, Shen Qian'er fiddled with her bikini strings mischievously and was about to loosen it. Pfff. I can't hold it anymore. Just then, there was a loud sound coming from the water. Chen Hao emerged from the water and gasped heavily. Ah! The two women shrieked in terror at the same time. They had moved to the other side of the hot spring in fright. Actually, when Chen Hao plunged into the water just now, he had already seen Shen Qian'er's silhouette under the water. As Shen Qian'er's swimsuit was too revealing, it reminded Chen Hao of the quotes from Guo Di Gang, a famous comedian, that went like this: in the olden days, you can only see a woman's bottom when you lift the swimsuit, but nowadays, you can only see the swimsuits when you pull a woman's butt cheeks apart. Chen Hao thought that this woman was naked. He was startled when he saw her, so he lifted his head halfway out of the water to observe and listen to them. That was when he found out that this woman was actually a celebrity who was very famous lately. Shen Qian'er. She was probably invited to perform in this villa today. Chen Hao initially planned to hold his breath under the water until the female celebrity had left. He never thought that Shen Qian'er, who was usually a dignified lady, would actually want to skinny dip. She almost untied her bikini. He was afraid that there would be a misunderstanding, so he immediately jumped out of the water. OFCK! How long have you been here? Shen Qian'er quickly covered the lower part of her body. Her bikini was almost untied and it was nearly falling off. Of course she would be embarrassed. Her furious roar followed. Oh my gosh! That's why I told you to be more careful, Qian'er. This jerk is certainly here to snap photos of you. He must have seen your whole body. Madame Hong panicked and quickly wrapped Shen Qian'er's body with the bathrobe. You effing get out now! Rage pulsed through Shen Qian'er's veins. She pointed at Chen Hao and scolded him furiously. She even grabbed a big rock. Whoa, calm down. I'm getting out now. Chen Hao had seen Shen Qian'er's dramas before. Why was she so different from what he saw in the drama? It was too coincidental. If he had known that Shen Qian'er was bathing here, he would never have gone down into the water. Miss Qian'er, I'm your fan. Oops. Chen Hao explained in a hurry, but before he could finish, he felt something warm flow out from his nose. It tasted metallic. His nose was bleeding. FCK, and you say that you didn't see anything? Madame Hong was stomping her feet angrily. Ah! Madame Hong, look at that! Shen Qian'er noticed something and pointed at Chen Hao. Two of them blushed when they saw his erection. OFCK! I had never seen a pervert like this in my life before. Ah! I'm going mad! Bodyguard! Bodyguard! Shen Qian'er stomped her feet. Chen Hao was helpless. Oh shit! This is so embarrassing. He didn't mean for his nose to bleed, but Shen Qian'er was so pretty and sexy, especially when her bikini was about to fall off. What was under the bikini was faintly discernible. Any normal man wouldn't be able to calm himself down. A few bodyguards rushed in immediately. Chapter 117. Let us go to the broadcasting department. One look at Miss Qian'er's expression and you would know what she was thinking. Her body, the body of an A-list female movie star, had just been seen. All three of her bodyguards were furious. Humph! How dare you peep at me? I will make you pay for it today. Where is General Manager Zhao? Give him a call now and gouge this loser's eyeballs out. Miss Qian'er was pissed. The person before her actually had a nosebleed and an erection after seeing her body. If young Master Chen were to have such a reaction, then she would be so delighted. However, instead of young Master Chen, it was this loser instead. I am afraid that only a loser would act this way. Shen Qian'er muttered to herself reluctantly at the moment. Madame Hong was her manager, hence she was more calm and collected at that moment. She took a look at Chen Hao. He did not look like a paparazzi who came here to take pictures of Shen Qian'er. Besides, he was wearing his swimming trunks. It was most likely a coincidence. Hence, she said coldly, Miss Qian'er, please don't let things get out of hand for now. An important movie contract is coming soon. You have to paint yourself in a positive light. You cannot afford to allow negative news such as this to be publicized. It is not good for your future career development. But Madame Hong, what should we do? This person peeped at me. I will not rest easy until I teach him a lesson. Shen Qian'er held onto her bathrobe tightly. At this moment, somebody shouted, something is happening at the hot spring area. Let us go and have a look. It's so late already. Could there still be guests at the hot spring? Let us take a look then. Suddenly, the voices of the security guards of the hot spring villa were heard. Madame Hong and Shen Qian'er panicked. If they were discovered, they would make the headlines tomorrow. Just leave it, Qian'er, let us go for now. This brat got off easy this time. Humph, we can go, but... Shen Qian'er's gaze shifted and without warning, she lifted her leg and kicked in the direction of Chen Hao's crotch. Chen Hao had fast reflexes. He quickly retreated backward. She did not manage to kick him. On the other hand, because she had put too much force into her kick, she lost her balance and her legs lifted up even higher. Once again, Chen Hao saw her in all her glory. It was a sight to behold. Ah! Shen Qian'er nearly went crazy. In the end, she left after Madame Hong persuaded her. The group of bodyguards gave Chen Hao a look of warning before taking their leave. This was just a minor incident. However, it was a feast for Chen Hao's eyes. When he went back to this room and lay on his bed, he could not sleep a wink even after repeatedly tossing and turning in his bed. He even had the impulse to reveal his identity and asked Li Zhenqiu to bring Shen Qian'er here so that he could sleep with her. However, when he recalled that Li Zhenqiu was still compiling information for him, he was too embarrassed to ask Li Zhenqiu to do such a thing. Chen Hao eventually controlled his impulses. He suddenly remembered that Han Xiyu had sent him some photos on his other WeChat ID, thus he decided to take a look at them to quench his desires. He logged into his account. Before he was able to take a look, he was disturbed by Meng Keru's continuous stream of messages. Gosh, ordinary guy, today was a tiring day. Ordinary guy, are you asleep? Are you asleep? Why do you sleep so early? To be honest, Chen Hao really hated Meng Keru now. Maybe because he wanted to get back at her for what she did, Chen Hao had a sudden impulse to toy with Meng Keru. I am not asleep yet. Chen Hao replied. Oh, you finally replied. Why aren't you asleep yet? Are you looking for pretty young ladies? Are there many of them beside you? Meng Keru sent him a shy emoji. I am thinking of them and I'm thinking of you. Come, send me a picture so that I can see you. Apart from Shen Qian'er's enticement, Chen Hao wanted to exact his revenge on Meng Keru as well. That was why he sent that message. He wanted to see how Meng Keru looked compared to her usual strict demeanor and disdainful attitude. Ping! Sure enough, the next moment, Meng Keru had sent the pictures over to him. The moment he took a look, the blood from Chen Hao's nose nearly gushed out. This was just too much. You could faintly discern her entire figure. It was as if her whole body was exposed in front of Chen Hao. Do you want to take a look, ordinary guy? If you video chat with me, I will let you see whatever you want. Meng Keru sent him a naughty emoji. Fuck. What is going on today? Chen Hao was just a guy like everyone else, hence he nearly agreed. At this moment, he heard a knock on his door. It was Li Zhenqiu who came to see whether he was asleep already or not. Only then did Chen Hao calm down. Chen Hao, what happened to you? You are such a jerk, scumbag, and a loser. Chen Hao scolded himself as he felt that he was turning naughty. He quickly pulled himself together before opening the door. Li Zhenqiu came to discuss with Chen Hao about developing the mountains. The data revealed that they could give this a try. It was quite late by the time the discussion ended. Chen Hao did not bother about Meng Keru anymore. He switched off his mobile phone and went to sleep. The next morning, Chen Hao left Hot Spring Villa and returned to college. He happened to see a young lady selling flowers in the early morning outside his campus. The roses were lovely. He thought of Su Tongxin. It had been a day since he had looked for her after their argument. Chen Hao wanted to find a good opportunity to clear the air and resolve their misunderstandings. Since he had 2 periods of free time in the morning and had nothing to do but to stay in campus, Chen Hao thought that he would buy some flowers to give to Su Tongxin and invite her out for a chat. The moment the idea popped into his head, he decided to act on it. Chen Hao bought a bunch of flowers and went straight to the broadcasting department. I'll be damned. Who is that guy? Did he come to confess his love this early in the morning? Look at him, he is not wearing anything appropriate and yet he dares come to our broadcasting department to confess his love. Ha ha ha. I know, he looks like that poor loser from the literature department. His name is Chen Hao. In the past, people often posted pictures of him looking like a poor bastard. I've seen it. Oh my god, that poor loser Chen Hao, I know him. Isn't he the guy who sent directs to his ex-girlfriend? He was quite a sensation at that time. Yes, that's him all right. How disgusting. The broadcasting department was very different. The moment Chen Hao entered, he saw that other than a handful of handsome guys, the rest of the department consisted mostly of beautiful girls. All of them had different styles and a certain elegance to them. The moment Chen Hao entered with his flowers, a lot of girls came out to take a look out of curiosity. Is there yet another handsome guy coming to their department to confess his love? It wasn't the first time a pretty girl from their department received a love confession. However, when everybody saw Chen Hao, they all looked disappointed. Haha, my dear brother, if you want to confess, why don't you take a look at yourself first? That's right. How could you come here to confess like this? If you were to succeed in your confession, I would jump off this building. I don't care if I die. 2 handsome guys dressed in suits were also holding some flowers in their hands. They laughed contemptuously at Chen Hao too when they saw the crowd ridiculing him. Chen Hao smiled bitterly. If he knew what he was up against at the broadcasting department, then he wouldn't have shown up with flowers. It was all Ma Zionan's idea. She told him that he could not act like a chauvinistic male in front of women. He needed to learn some tricks. Even though certain girls said that they did not like flowers or bags, it would be good if he could still treat them to a meal. However, if he thought that girls were straightforward, then he would be this close to getting kicked. So, Chen Hao ended up buying roses before coming here. However, he was surrounded because of that, it was indeed. Chen Hao, what are you doing here? Just when Chen Hao was in a bind whether to leave or not, a few familiar female voices rang out behind him. When Chen Hao looked back, his eyelids couldn't help but twitch. The people heading in his direction were none other than Zhao Yifan, Su Xia, Lin Jiao, and the rest of their roommates. Obviously, they were on their way to class. Chen Hao, I am asking you something. When Chen Hao did not reply, Su Xia frowned and repeated herself again. Chapter 118. A huge misunderstanding. Say something. Because of Yang Hui, Su Xia treated Chen Hao like her own family. In addition to that, they were quite close with each other as well. Hence, she asked him in surprise. Oh, I came here to look for someone and to give them something, Chen Hao stammered. The moment he lifted his head, he came eye to eye with the hottest girl amongst the crowd, which happened to be Zhao Yifan. At this moment, Zhao Yifan was blushing as she looked at Chen Hao and the flowers he was holding in his hands. She crossed her fingers back and forth. Just now, Zhao Yifan and her roommates arrived at their department together. The moment they saw Chen Hao, not only was Zhao Yifan surprised, even Lin Jiao and the rest of them were surprised because based on their experience, Chen Hao was an honest person regardless of his economic standing. Unexpectedly, Chen Hao came to their department today. Moreover, Chen Hao wasn't the same person as he was back then. Ever since Lin Jiao's ex-boyfriend, Su Nan, helped Lin Jiao and Zhao Yifan out, he and his cousin Su Chao ended up beating one of the rich young masters of Jinling. In the end, they had taken their revenge in a vicious manner. Zhao Yifan's family was also implicated in that incident. The matter was only resolved in the hotel when Chen Hao asked General Director Huang to show up. From then onward, Zhao Yifan and Lin Jiao have been speculating whether Chen Hao was some kind of powerful person. Could he actually be the young Master Chen of Jinling? But there was no way that he was the young Master Chen of Jinling because Chen Hao simply did not have that kind of appearance. However, he was definitely not an ordinary person and he was definitely rich. Hence, Lin Jiao really regretted it. Zhao Yifan was feeling thankful and regretful at the same time. She wanted to find an opportunity to resolve their previous misunderstandings and to start their relationship anew. However, she had not seen him since that day. Hence, how could she not be surprised to bump into Chen Hao so early in the morning in her department? Chen Hao, who are you giving these flowers to? Zhao Yifan straightened her hair. Then, she lowered her head and asked him in a whisper. She was so cute and gentle like a little lamb. Could it be that Chen Hao had changed his mind after all? Ma Zionan, Su Xia and Yang Hui wanted to set them up previously. Hence, no matter what, they still had some unresolved feelings. In addition to that, Zhao Yifan was sure that Chen Hao did like her in the beginning. As far as she knew, Chen Hao was not in a relationship with anyone from the broadcasting department. Hence, Zhao Yifan's heart was thumping madly now. Haha, who else could it be? Yifan, how is he supposed to answer you? Su Xia clapped her hands with joy. Then, she looked at Chen Hao with approval. Chen Hao, I can see that after you became rich, your EQ has really improved by leaps and bounds. You actually know how to plan a surprise, and it's such a big surprise too. Haha. Yes, today was indeed a surprise. Chen Hao had a hard time answering her question. I'll be damned. Chen Hao had only wanted to buy a bunch of roses to give to Su Tongzhen and then take a walk together. It was as simple as that. Who knew that all the girls in their department would act like that? They rushed over the moment they saw somebody else from another faculty. And now, he actually bumped into Zhao Yifan. It was obvious that he was misunderstood by Su Xia and Zhao Yifan. Chen Hao was having a headache dealing with all these matters. It was even worse now. A lot of students had gathered by the stairs and Chen Hao and Zhao Yifan were pushed to the center of the circle. They were even recording the scene with their mobile phones. I'll be damned. News flash. Come and take a look quickly. A poor loser from the literature department is confessing his love for the stunning beauty Zhao Yifan from the broadcasting department. All the girls were in disbelief. Oh my god, who would be attracted to a person like him? He really had the guts to do that. He really was courageous. I'll be damned. He actually wants to confess his love for the stunning Zhao Yifan. That's so gutsy of him. The two guys who were ridiculing Chen Hao were in disbelief as well. At the same time, at the other end of the department, someone said, Tongzin, come quick, somebody came here to confess again. Su Tongzin was reading her books while propping up her cheeks with her hands. Nobody knew that she was stuck at the same page for quite some time already. At this moment, the excited screams of one of the students woke her up from her daydream. Let us go, Tongzin. Let us take a look. No, I'm not interested. I'm not going, Su Tongzin said while frowning. Haha. Why not? It's so lively there. I heard that it was a loser from the literature department who came here to confess his love for a girl. What? Su Tongzin's eyes grew wide as her body began to tremble. The literature department wasn't at Chen Hao's department, then that loser was. To be honest, although Su Tongzin knew Chen Hao's true identity, she had always felt that Chen Hao was a loser. She chuckled. However, she still liked him most when he was being silly in front of her. She could never forget his silliness even if she wanted to. So, the moment she heard this, Su Tongzin thought of Chen Hao. Did that stupid man finally get it? Was he here for her? Hence, Su Tongzin stood up immediately, thereby causing her chair to fall over. Then, she ran out. When she went out to take a look, there was indeed a crowd gathering at the staircase. And within the crowd, Chen Hao was seen holding a bunch of fresh flowers. It was really him. Su Tongzin was delighted, but she intentionally kept a distance. Her heart was thumping wildly now. Oh my god, this loser is pursuing Zhao Yifan from our department. Zhao Yifan is such a cold, heartless lady. Would she agree to it? No way. Don't be fooled by her coldness, she is actually a BTCH. She really despises the poor and curries favor with the rich. What, he is pursuing Zhao Yifan? When she overheard the students' discussions, the smile on Su Tongzin's face froze. She felt a stabbing pain in her heart and she wanted to cry. Oh, Tongzin, you're here too. Yes, this loser came to pursue Zhao Yifan. Look, isn't that Zhao Yifan right beside him? Su Tongzin was too focused on looking for Chen Hao just now. When she took a closer look, Zhao Yifan was indeed right beside Chen Hao. Su Tongzin gulped. Her face paled immediately. Haha, did you think that Chen Hao came to pursue you? He came to pursue Zhao Yifan, not you. Why am I so stupid? She had always felt that Chen Hao was silly. Hence, no matter what, he would never leave her side and would always spoil her. He would be nice to her and her alone. A few days ago, when Chen Hao was praising another woman, Su Tongzin was indeed jealous. However, when she saw him becoming anxious just because of her, she knew that he liked her. The only thing was, he was so silly that he did not confess to her even after she had hinted him a few times already. In short, Su Tongzin had been overthinking these last 2 days. She even thought of taking the initiative to find Chen Hao first. Su Tongzin, did you really think that Chen Hao was such a simple-minded person? Do you know who he is? He is the son of one of the richest men on the planet. A top-tier second-generation heir. Guys would always become a jerk when they turned rich, let alone Chen Hao, who has no idea how rich he even is. You thought he liked you, but in reality he was only toying with you. Haha. Isn't this the cold hard truth? Chen Hao came to my department to confess his love for another girl in such a flamboyant manner. Isn't this the reality of the situation? Su Tongzhen's eyes were brimming with tears. It turned out that everything she knew was wrong all these while. As for Chen Hao, the situation he was in could be said to be extremely tense. All the girls who were watching the drama unfold directed their gazes at Chen Hao and Zhao Yifan. Su Xia and the rest of them had retreated to a corner. Chen Hao was utterly shocked. He was at a loss. On the other hand, Zhao Yifan was thinking that since Chen Hao had the money and connections, she did feel attracted to him. In that case, why shouldn't she give this relationship a chance? Even if Chen Hao had an ugly past and had always been looked down upon by Zhao Yifan, she could still give him another chance. To be honest, Zhao Yifan still looked down upon him even until now, as she considered him to be an extremely lucky person. However, since he was rich and he did lend her a helping hand in the past, she could still consider giving him a chance. Hence, Zhao Yifan opened her mouth to speak. Chapter 119. A new Prince Charming in college. All right, Chen Hao, I'll be your girlfriend, Zhao Yifan said gently after straightening her hair. Damn! The goddess Zhao Yifan actually said yes to his confession. What, did I get it right? Oh my gosh, there are so many rich tycoons in our department who are courting Zhao Yifan. She wasn't interested in them at all, and now she actually becomes the girlfriend of this loser. Does that mean that she prefers losers? I would have pretended to be a loser if I had known this earlier. This is Zhao Yifan's first love, isn't it? The boys were wailing while the girls found it unbelievable. They thought that Zhao Yifan was crazy. Chen Hao was rather good looking, but how could Zhao Yifan, who always had high expectations toward guys, actually had an interest in him? No matter what the others thought, Zhao Yifan had indeed agreed. She then took the flowers from Chen Hao's hand. Zhao Yifan walked away from Chen Hao coyly and went back to her class. This calls for a treat. You should treat us to a meal tonight. Su Xia and the others were over the moon and clapped happily. Lin Jiao was the only one who was frustrated. She glared at Chen Hao in fury and left. What do you mean by that, Chen Hao? Don't you know that I have feelings for you? Even when I was dating Su Nan now, you actually confessed to another girl in front of everyone. Lin Jiao's pride was hurt. Sigh. Chen Hao's eyes widened and he stood still. He hadn't recovered from his shock. What was he doing here? He was here to ask Su Tongzhen out. Damn! How did I become Zhao Yifan's boyfriend? Fuck! I didn't even say a word. How in the world did I become Zhao Yifan's boyfriend? Actually, Chen Hao wanted to explain himself just now. However, Chen Hao's mind went blank and he didn't know what to say when he was surrounded by so many people. He had only been off guard for a second, and that was all it took for the entire atmosphere to change. Since things had happened to this extent, he would be hurting everyone's pride if he denied that he was here to confess to Zhao Yifan. Moreover, Su Xia was making a big fuss about them. Chen Hao was in a dilemma where he wanted to explain but he couldn't. No, I need to talk to Zhao Yifan and make myself clear. I shouldn't stay here any longer. If Su Tongzhen saw this, she would never believe me no matter how I explain myself. Chen Hao scratched his head and turned to leave. Chen Hao. Just as he started to walk away, a girl's voice rang from behind. He stopped. Chen Hao's whole body trembled when he heard the voice. It was Su Tongzhen. Only then did Chen Hao realize that Su Tongzhen had been watching him from the crowd. I'm doomed. She must have seen it. Tongzhen, listen to me. I can explain. Chen Hao quickly said. Chen Hao had indeed liked Zhao Yifan before this because she was very beautiful, but after interacting with her a few times, he had lost interest. The girl that Chen Hao wanted to court the most remained to be Su Tongzhen. She was irreplaceable. However, things had suddenly taken a turn for the worse. He would never get to explain himself now. It's okay, Chen Hao. You don't need to explain yourself. I've seen everything. Good for you. I wish you happiness. Su Tongzhen stared at Chen Hao and said with a stutter. Humph. What a scumbag. He flirted with our Su Tongzhen every day, but now he's courting another girl. You're just a fucking loser. Why are you so arrogant? Our poor Tongzhen must have been blinded by love. Bah! What a disgusting scumbag. You're so sickening. Obviously, Su Tongzhen's roommates knew Chen Hao. They were all scorning and berating Chen Hao and almost wanted to spit at him. Get lost from our department now. You are shameless. The girls were menacing. It's all a misunderstanding. Tongzhen, listen to me. Slap. Before Chen Hao could finish his words, Su Tongzhen suddenly turned around and gave him a slap on his face. It was a loud one. She then gave him a glance to show that she didn't give a damn about him anymore and left. Chen Hao was stunned. He never thought that this matter would snowball. He couldn't recall how the others ridiculed him after that. He didn't even remember how he left the broadcasting department. Why did I even care about Zhao Yifan's feelings? Why did I care about other people's feelings? Why didn't I explain myself from the start? If I had explained everything since the beginning, I wouldn't have messed things up. Chen Hao kept scratching his head in frustration. Meanwhile, Chen Hao received a message from Zhao Yifan. Chen Hao, Su Xia, and the girls asked us to have dinner together later. What's your plan? Chen Hao let out a sigh. He wanted to tell Zhao Yifan then and there that he had no intention of confessing to her, nor did he love her. It was all a misunderstanding. But looking at how passionate Zhao Yifan was and how friendly Su Xia and the girls were, Chen Hao didn't know how to tell them the truth. Perhaps all Libras were complicated. You guys go, I have something else to do. I won't be joining. Claim the expense from me later. Chen Hao casually replied to her. He would talk to Zhao Yifan about this matter later. He believed that Zhao Yifan would notice his apathetic tone. What do you mean by you guys go? Chen Hao, is it because getting me was too easy? Zhao Yifan sent another message. Chen Hao turned off his phone instantly and wandered on the street in the campus aimlessly. Vroom. Suddenly, he heard the sound of engines. They were resounding. Following that, 5 dazzling Ferrari sports cars drove into the campus, magnetizing the whole campus instantly. At the same time, one of the luxury cars passed by Chen Hao. As Chen Hao wasn't paying attention, he was almost knocked over by the car. He stumbled backward and fell on the ground as he had lost his balance. Ah! Luxury cars. There are so many of them. They are all Ferraris. Oh my god, which young master has arrived? Damn, I would give anything to get a chance to sit in a Ferrari. I don't care if I have to sleep with him. He's certainly a rich young master. Who are they picking up? These 5 sports cars managed to attract half of the girls in the campus in just a while. There were also a lot of guys who came to have a look. In short, there were a lot of people on the street discussing among themselves, full of admiration on their faces. Meanwhile, a male student jumped out of the car. He seemed really aggressive. Damn, are you fucking blind? Don't you know how to dodge our young Master Zhao's car? We should have ran you over. He scolded Chen Hao. This student looked handsome with his red-colored hair. Chen Hao usually didn't wear flashy clothes. People would know that he was an honest person with just one look. Naturally, this rich guy didn't care much about him. Oh, Suji, look at him. Just one look and we know that he's a nerd. You don't have to be angry with this kind of person. Ha ha ha, that's right, Suji. Don't shout because your loud voice is going to scare him to death. Ha ha ha. There were two girls dressed in expensive clothes in the car. They had gotten out and were clinging onto Suji's arms, which made them feel proud. Humph, I'll take care of him later. Let us go and see young Master Zhao. Suji raised an eyebrow, walked to one of the cars in the middle respectfully and opened the door. Young Master Zhao. Who is young Master Zhao? Damn, Suji looks so handsome and he's so overbearing. The person in the car must be really important since he is so polite. I know who he is. Do you guys know that Jinling Commercial Group has changed their general manager? The new general manager's surname is Zhao. Don't tell me that this young Master Zhao is. Oh my god. Some of the girls were so excited that their ovaries almost exploded. Yes, I heard that the son of General Manager Zhao has transferred to this college. Some of the girls were gossiping loudly. Everyone in Jinling Commercial Street knew that young Master Chen was impressive, but his existence was just a legend. He was incomparable to young Master Zhao, who could be seen and touched in real life. In short, they might not be able to get young Master Chen, but they might be able to get the attention of young Master Zhao if they worked hard enough. After all, love worked in mysterious ways. Meanwhile, Suji placed his hand on the top edge of the car to prevent the young master from hitting his head. The young master got out of the car gradually from his driver's seat. At this moment, the atmosphere of the whole campus tensed up. Chapter 120. He bought a mountain. As soon as the guy straightened his back, the whole campus was in an uproar. Oh my god, he's handsome. He is so handsome. Some girls cheered and jumped. The guy was wearing sunglasses. He was indeed quite cool and handsome. He also had a very strong aura. At present, looking at all the worshipping eyes around him, he smirked and said, "Hello, everyone. Actually, I plan to hold a welcoming conference in the college and meet all of you today, but since everyone is here, let me introduce myself in advance. I come from the southern region and studied at Nanyang College. All of you may have seen the news. My father Zhao Zixing will take over the position of General Manager in Jinling Commercial Group from now on. Therefore, I was also transferred to Jinling College to continue my studies. Of course, I'm not the typical domineering rich second generation, although I'm wealthy. Haha, whoever wants to visit Jinling Commercial Street in the future, just mention my name. My name is Zhao Shan, as in the sun, but with an extra H." Then, Zhao Shan threw his glasses onto the ground. He looked so powerful. My goodness, he's so handsome. Is this young Master Zhao? Jinling Commercial Street will be managed by their family from now on. Oh my god. Mr. Zhao, I love you, I want to be your wife. Mr. Zhao, I want to bear your child. Some girls shouted shamelessly. Zhao Shan and some of his followers behind him all laughed bitterly and shook their heads. I'm used to it. Wherever I go, I'll be pursued by these girls. I'm really tired. Let's go and have a look at our managerial economics department's classroom. Zhao Shan climbed into his car. Su Ji, who was at the front of the car, pointed his middle finger at Chen Hao, who was getting up. "Motherfucker, I'll run you over next time if you don't pay attention." After that, the cars whizzed away amidst the girls' screams. So, he was Zhao Zixing's son. Why was he so wild? Chen Hao was almost hit. He was also a little angry, but if he were to take revenge, his identity would be exposed. It was not worth it. Besides, he is Zixing's son. I have to give him some respect. At present, Chen Hao just wanted to leave. A lot of things happened today and it made Chen Hao dejected. Haha, this loser almost got hit just now. Oh, yes. But if he was hit, he wouldn't be able to afford to pay for the damages. Tell me about it. Each of us has one shoulder and one head, but how can the difference between two people be this big? Look at the obvious contrast between Zhao Xiao and this loser. Forget about it, let's not talk about him. Let us go and see what young Master Zhao is doing in the Managerial Economics Department. A few girls began to walk toward the Managerial Economics Department. When they passed by Chen Hao, they all tutted with disapproval. Chen Hao walked to the garden sadly and calmed down. He was thinking about Su Tongxin. At this time, Su Zihou called him. "Chen Hao, my leave was approved. I can go to Yunmen Mountain with you." That big mountain was called Yunmen Mountain. Chen Hao and Su Zihou had both agreed to go there to have a look today after her leave was approved. "All right, wait a moment. I'll call Li Zhenqiu. Once he has compiled all the information, let's go together." Phew! After the phone call, Chen took a long breath. "I will treat the trip to Yunmen Mountain today as a break. I've been upset for the whole day." After he had made an appointment with Li Zhenqiu, Chen Hao drove to pick up Su Zihou. They then headed to the village at the foot of Yunmen Mountain located outside the suburb of Jinling. As Li Zhenqiu had already given the villagers a call in advance, the leaders of the village were waiting for him by the time they reached. To be honest, Yunmen village was far away from the city and transportation was not very convenient. So, not many businesses chose to invest in their development. Now, it was good to hear that a big boss was coming to invest and develop their village. It had attracted considerable attention from the local leaders. As for Chen Hao, this was also the first time he had signed a development contract by himself. He was a bit nervous. However, standing at the foot of Yunmen Mountain, he could feel that the place was lush and the air was very fresh. While looking at the data collected by Li Zhenqiu, he saw there were lakes and streams running down the mountain which were very beautiful and refreshing. Therefore, Chen Hao immediately decided to develop Yunmen Mountain. The specifics of the contracts were discussed by Li Zhenqiu. This was the first time in history that a whole mountain was contracted for development. 500 million was needed to contract the whole mountain. In addition to the 200 million that his sister gave him, he had spent 300 million from his own pocket. But the whole mountain was worth that amount of money no matter how he calculated it. Chen Hao then signed the contract. After that, there were also some discussions with the leaders of the village. Chen Hao left the matter to Li Zhenqiu and brought Su Zihou out from the meetings. He wanted her to bring him around the foot of the mountain. Naturally, Su Zihou was very familiar with the place. First, she took Chen Hao to a famous old lake called Jingshan Lake in Yunmen Mountain. They took a stroll around the lake. Looking at the clear lake, Chen Hao's mood improved a lot. Just as he sat down on the bank, he heard some noise coming from behind. "Damn, Ding Hao! I never thought that your hometown was so beautiful. How about having a picnic here in the evening?" "Sure. This place is like a paradise." Ding Hao, if we didn't need to work in Jinling, I would have married you, ha ha ha. There were around 10 young men and women walking toward the Jingshan lake while talking and laughing. They were talking about how they yearned for nature, but one could tell that they were money-minded. To have a picnic would be a bit difficult. Something big is happening in Yunmen Mountain, so picnics and other activities are forbidden since yesterday. But since all of you wanted to have a picnic, I'll take the risk. Also, we must clean up all the charcoal fire before we leave and make sure the fire is put out. The guy named Ding Hao said. Hooray! Let us have a picnic and barbecue here. Let us bring lots of beer too. We won't go back without getting drunk. Everyone cheered. By the way, Ding Hao, just now you said something important is happening in Yunmen village. What's the deal? You've been so mysterious since the morning. Spill the beans. Others were beginning to wonder. Haha, I can't reveal too much. My father told me about it and reminded me not to spread it around. But since you all want to know, I will just tell you that our Yunmen mountain is going to be developed. Ha ha ha, they are signing a contract today. A big boss has paid a lot of money to contract the mountain. What? Everyone was shocked. They started to scream. If so, then Ding Hao would have the chance to inherit the valuable properties from his dad in the future. They couldn't quite believe it. They were still bantering when they reached Chen Hao. As for Chen Hao, he felt that some of them sounded familiar when he heard their voices. Subconsciously, he turned to have a look. As soon as he saw them, Chen Hao's eyelids twitched. Why are Chen Lin, Li Xian, and the others here?
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget.